So my name is Chad with Leaders RPM here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And today we're going to take a look at this E-TEC. We're going to do a seasonal maintenance on the unit. We're going to start off by draining gear oil, changing the gear oil on this unit, changing some spark plugs and some filters. So we'll take you along with us to show you how it's done. All right, so now that we got the engine tilted down, you want to make sure you have a suitable drain pan under the unit. And we'll start off by taking the top lube screw out first to vent any air out of the system so it doesn't come squirting at you when you take the bottom one out. Top one is now out and loose. We will reinstall it loosely. So now we can remove the lower lube screw, the drain. And we'll remove the top one now again. And then we'll just sit here and let this drain until it's completely empty. And then when you go to refill, you fill it from the bottom until it comes out the top. And we'll turn it back on when we start that job. So on the Evinrude E-TEC, when changing the spark plugs on these units, you actually got to do what's called indexing the spark plug. So what I'll do is I'll take my Sharpie, find the electroding ground strap on the spark plug, and I will draw a line right where that is, so that as it's installed into the unit, we got to make sure that that is 180 out from where the injector is. If you end up having it to where that grounding strap is where the fuel is spraying in, it won't ignite the fuel for a full combustion. So it could take you anywhere from a dozen spark plugs plus to confirm that all these plugs are pointed, indexed the correct way. So now we got the spark plug installed, and I can see my mark is 180 out from where the injector is going into the head. So like I say, big importance on the E-TEC is make sure that that grounding strap electrode is facing away from the direction of the injector itself. All right, so we're gonna go fill this lower unit back up. And if you don't have a nice pressurized system like I have here, then you can purchase you the little setup that screws right into the quart bottle. And then you can screw this right into your lower unit and pump it up until she's full. Like I say, luckily, I do have a nice pressurized system. So we'll start off by putting our adapter in on the bottom of the lower unit. And you always want to fill from the bottom until it comes out the top screw. Once it comes out the top screw, you want to wait a couple minutes. Stop, wait a couple minutes, and then do it a second time to make sure you bleed any excess air out of the system. So as you see, we got your gear oil come out of the unit, so I stopped it, and I'm gonna wait a couple minutes, and then I will bleed off any extra air out of the system, and then we will install the top lube screw. And once the top lube screw is installed first, that'll create a vacuum in the lower unit so that you can pull the lower plug and quickly put the bottom plug back in. And like I say, top one's in, so I pull this bottom one, now I can quickly swap it out for the plug with minimal oil loss. Make sure both are snug. Now your gear lube's all set for the season. So another good maintenance item to do in the spring or seasonally is locate your inline fuel filter and replace that. Now you do want to make sure and check which way your fuel flow is going, because on the filter you will have an arrow of what direction the fuel flow is. So you just want to make sure your inlet is on the correct side and your outlet is on the opposite. Again, we're placing it on to make sure that our fuel flow is going in the correct direction. And then we'll secure this with some clamps. Now we got a fuel filter replaced, and that is about everything you need to do for seasonal maintenance on your E-TEC. Thanks for being with us today for our Tech Tip Tuesday.